Yes, bro, but the handwriting is so good.
My handwriting is not so good. Just bear with me. Okay. So this is search of pleasure. Yes. So now you see, so let us discuss the science. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. So you see that all of us as jivas, we are living in this world and we are interacting with this world. No, we are interacting in this world. So many varieties of things. So let's say this is jiva, and he is around the world. He's around the world. There's so many things, so many objects, so many things, so many people, objects like this. So these are all the different varieties of things, and this jiva is there. So what happens is now we are looking for pleasure. You know, we are looking for pleasure. So now this, okay, let me erase that. Search for pleasure. How to increase the font size? Okay. Yeah. That's why pleasure is there. So you can see this person is searching for pleasure. You know. Now what happens is, so in the search of pleasure, he connects with these different things. You know? He connects with different things. Like it may be some wealth, it may be some kind of you know movie or something to eat or some kind of the form of the opposite sex. Like there's so many varieties of things out there. So he's trying to connect with things of this world in so many ways. You see, this is how it is. And why he's doing all that? Because he's seeking pleasure. What he's doing is seeking pleasure. So because of his seeking pleasure, he's connecting to so many things. You see, uh, he's connecting to so many things of this world. This is what is happening. He's seeking pleasure. So seeking pleasure with all varieties of things. But what is the end result? What is happening with him? Though he's seeking pleasure, right? But what is happening? The whole end result is what? He's becoming completely dissatisfied. Satisfied. Correct, no? This is what is happening. So even though he's looking for pleasure all over, but he's feeling dissatisfied. This is what happens in this world. You can see. People are looking for happiness, but they're not finding happiness. So then we'll move ahead. So now, so we'll see connection which this person was trying to do. Connection which he was trying to do. So it has two things. No, what is that? Connect And then we can say after he connects to things of this world, then there is action. Correct? So we can keep connecting to so many things of this world, and then accordingly we do many actions. But you see, between connect and this thing, in between connect and action, there's one more thing also. What is that? There is something called emotion also. Emotion. So, yes. So one connects to different sense objects, and then he gets into so many actions. So with the whole intention of seeking pleasure. The whole intention is search for pleasure only. Search for pleasure. As you can say, seeking pleasure. He's seeking pleasure only in so many ways. You know? So, and he connects to so many varieties of things when people of this world, and then he gets into action. But before it is, there is some kind of emotions also. You can see. Yeah. Now, when he connects to any sense objects, varieties of sense when he connects. So, uh, let's say somebody is there here. You know, let's say somebody is there. And he connects to someone, something he connects to. Let's say some object A is there. The object A he connects to. So what happens is, as soon as he connects to this object, so what he's looking for? He's looking for pleasure. I'll write P. Now, what actually is in mind is pleasure. This is what he's thinking in his mind. That how can I get pleasure out of this A? Correct? So when he connects with this intention of pleasure with things of this world. Hmm. And then his sensor gets activated in particular direction. This is what happens to any person like that. So now, when he connects, and when there is some seeking of pleasure, then there are certain emotions which comes in his mind, in his subtle body. So we can say what comes is certain kind of emotions. So all right, I'll just write E. Then it comes easy for you. I'll just write E. So the emotions are there. So now these emotions, they are coming by. So this emotion is coming because of there are some seeds of material enjoyment. Or in other words, you can say material desires. or you can say sinful desires. Sinful desires, or you can say sinful bija. It's also called bijas, sinful bijas. Actually, any kind of sankhya addiction in one sense is sinful only, in that sense, if you see. So these all emotions are coming because the seeds lying there. Just like Ajamila. Ajamila, he was actually, yeah, he was actually having, he was going for some pure activity of bringing flowers. But then what happened is he saw some sight and then he got allured because the sinful desires were there in the heart. So that got fructified. That's happened. The same is just like suppose Ajamila's case. Ajamila connects to A. That is a side, wrong side. And then he's seeking. So there is emotions coming. Why emotions are coming? Because there are sinful desires are there. Some bijas are there, right? And then the emotions come. So that comes in the form of say lust or something. So that is pleasure. So seeking pleasure through that lust. So that's how he goes for an action. Then sinful action will come, and then it comes to action. And then all this thing happens, and then further what happens is then the person will get into the action. You can see now the simple action will come. So now the thing is, mm, now anything you connect in this world, is this clear till now, Haribol? All of you are clear?
Yes.
Yeah. So now, uh, yeah. So now we will see that how on different platform we connect to things of this world, different platform. So I'll write here different platforms. Increase the font size. How to keep the font size stable? Like physical, hmm, then emotional level, then intellectual level, then egoistic level, then spiritual. Okay, so this is how a different platform we connect. So any kind of sense object in terms of things or people of this world, we either connect physically, emotionally, intellectually, egoistically, and spiritually, and divine, like that. Now, for everything, I will write something. Like for physical. So why we connect anything physically? Why we connect? What the reason for connection? So by some external beauty, external appearance. Say in terms of mm, say beauty or wealth or property. uh, yeah. So this kind of things. So some physical things, etc. You can write. So all these things, either you want to possess it, thinking that this will give me happiness, pleasure, and some people who are having this thing, then we want to connect to them also because we think that by that I can become happy. Like somebody is very beautiful, so he's thinking that okay, if I have this person, some opposite sex, then he'll be happy. Think physical platform, things like physically he wants to connect, and he wants to have the company of that opposite sex, like so feels like that. And then there is wealth, so he wants to have the wealth, or he wants to connect to the people who whom he connects well, then he will actually have wealth, and that's how he'll become happy. So basically, he feels that all these things will make him happy. So that's how he is attracted to all these different varieties of things. Then there is another thing. It's called emotionally we connect. So how we connect emotionally? So we can say that somebody is caring, mm, somebody is very affectionate to us. Then somebody may be very understanding. So all these things, we may find. Some people are very caring, affectionate, understanding. So then that also we connect. Then we also connect to such people. That's the mechanism. So emotional level we connect. Then there is intellectual level. So intellectual level, what we can be there, like somebody can answer the questions of life, of our life, or decision making, decision in making decision, decision, uh, or you can say, or you can question our intelligence also. Mhm. Or you question our intelligence. So basically, then we connect to the person intellectually. That means we get some kind of intellectual titillation because he can question, can help in making decisions. He can answer the questions of life, broaden my perspective, and or he can question my intelligence means he will ask question to me, which will make me understand how my perspective is very narrow. And by questioning, so that way the question it's called questioning our intelligence, and that's how you may feel connected. You may feel subordinate to that person. Like Srila Prabhupada asked, Henry Ford. I mean, Alfred Ford. Where is Henry Ford now? He questioned him. He questioned his intelligence. He was feeling I'm successful. I'm a big man. When he asked, where is now Henry Ford? This question itself shook him. Where is my Henry Ford? Yeah, correct. I'm thinking that I'm very intelligent. I'm making so much money, but I'm fool because that money won't be there with me. So that one question shook him. So you get intellectually, connected also. Yeah. So this is like intellectual, connection. You may find. So you may find some intelligent people, that way, who can help you in different way, making decisions, or they can give the answers to tricky questions of our life, or they can question our intelligence and broaden our perspective. That way, we find intellectual connection. Some people in this world. Then there's some egoistic connection also. What is the egoistic connection? They feel sense of worth through them. Feel sense of worth. Sense of worth. When you connect to them, or connect things or people, whatever things or people, when you connect, then you feel sense of worth when you're on the egoistic platform. So these are all different ways we connect to people on physical, emotional, intellectual, egoistic platform. Mm. Uh, through them, no? Since ways are the way through them. When you connect to them, then you feel something. So that's how you want to connect. And ultimately, all these things you want to do because you want to experience happiness. That is the ultimate goal. You know? The ultimate goal is what? You want to experience happiness. Why this entire thing is there? But ultimately want to experience pleasure. Right? So this search of pleasure happens in so many ways, like you can see. It's the whole this thing. Now, when you talk about spiritual or divine, so in this case, Also we connect, but what we get here is, we connect to people who can actually, oh, sorry, we connect who can give us full satisfaction of heart, deep sense of shelter, security, shelter, everlasting bliss, joy, happiness. You see. So this you get on the platform of when you connect spiritually. This is what you get. Correct? This is what you get when you connect spiritually. Yes, sir. So now all these things are attractive to us. Like if we talk about physical thing and external appearance, beauty, like Parasar Bhatta said, no, that I mean, okay, that is a different thing. But what I'm saying is anybody is beautiful or and somebody is intelligent and attractive, wealthy, has a lot of property, he's famous. So then it's very attractive. Physical platform also very attractive. The person you want to connect to get all those things. Then emotionally, there are people like family, society, friendship. We connect to social circle. We connect to the family circle, relative circle, because we find them. No, we may not be so much sometimes interested in their wealth and all, like our parents or our very close relatives. We may not be so, but we want to be connected with them because we find some sense of caring nature of theirs. They're affectionate, they're understanding. So we feel some kind of support. Emotionally, we connect. So we want to keep them with us. Then intellectually, you want to be connect also. There's some people who may feel that they are good guides, they can coach me, they can help me to make decisions. So elder brother, हमारे बड़े भाई होंगे या कोई हमारे कोई टीचर होंगे, तो we connect intellectually also with them like that. But the and then unegoistic also feel sense of worth. कोई famous व्यक्ति उसका फोटो खिंचा लिया और या उनका नाम जानते हैं, उनसे कनेक्ट हो गया है. People, we can always tell I know that person. People tell I met Amitabh Bachchan, I met Narendra Modi, and the key photo and all that. Feel sense of worth. Anything they keep, or even they keep some big possessions, big bungalow. They may not even stay there, but they keep that because they get some sort of egoistic satisfaction. I guess. Of course, one thing can give them different things also. Like some uh, a person may have physical connection to some, like he possesses so much of property and everything, but he also gets a egoistic satisfaction also through that. So connection may happen at physical platform or and egoistic platform both also for one particular thing. So it can be, not as just one mapping. It can be different ways also. But the point is, the different ways one may connect physical, emotional. Like somebody may become attached to opposite sex. So then physically also, he is very wanting to have the company of opposite sex because of his beauty. And also he has emotionally also connection because she may be very caring, affectionate, understanding. Like what some of the boys say, very caring and affectionate, understanding this. Opposite sex, those are boy girlfriend, boyfriend, like the people keep. Well, people may have connection because of that reason also, like that. So these all things may be there. So, but ultimately, what they're looking for is pleasure only. Correct. Now, these things actually give us, they attract us because they supposedly हमको ये बोलते हैं कि हमको ये they will give us some kind of pleasure, some kind of happiness. No, yeah. So they attract us. So they're very attractive. We can say they're attractive. Yeah, they're attractive. So what only thing is that they may be attractive, but no capacity to give shelter. So they can attract us only, but they cannot give us shelter. That means they cannot. Wait a minute. Yeah. So they can attract, but they cannot give a shelter. That means we cannot have a stable practice. Like, and why it is so? Because of different reasons. So what are the different reasons? Because that is temporary. All things of this world are temporary. Then what else? Also illusory in nature. Then even it lacks capacity. Lacks capacity. Like suppose somebody maybe emotionally giving some kind of support to us. No, but there are different times they cannot give full emotional support. And they may give to some extent they can give, but they have itself limitations, so they cannot always do like that. So that source itself lacks capacity. No, this lacks capacity. That intellectually somebody can help us, but not in all life decisions they can. Correct. That's what happens. So this is how we can get trapped. We don't get full this thing, and many times it is frustrating also. Even though we get some kind of uh, attraction, and they give us some kind of support, but even it's ultimately it is frustrating. It is not so satisfying. It is not so satisfying. It is sometimes many times frustrating also, like that. So many boys, they after having the affair and all, they get breakup and so many problems. Frustration also is there. So that is also experienced in this world, like that. This is the problem with the this kind of thing, right? But when you talk about the spiritual or divine, which you are seeing here, so here we get full satisfaction of our heart, deep sense of security, and everlasting bliss and joy and happiness. Things we get. This is how we get in this. Now coming to uh, the verse by Parasar, but what he says is Parasar Muni. You know the verse, right? What is the verse? He talks about who is Bhagwan. So Bhagwan possesses all six opulences, correct? Bhagwan possessor of all six opulences. Mhm. So now at physical platform, if you go back to find out, hmm, where it got saved, I don't know. Pictures? Okay, here only. Yeah. So Prabhu, you're able to see the screen?
So Parasara Muni screen we can see. Oh, not.
Hmm. Now you can see, no? So
Just
on physical so on physical platforms, you see that the Lord is most beautiful. Correct or not? He's the most beautiful. He's all strong. Yeah. He's all strong. He's all powerful. He's all famous. He's all renounced. And he's all knowledgeable. He's all rich. Everything you find. So physical platform, no, he is not temporary. He's eternal. He's not illusory. He's real. It lacks capacity, but he doesn't lack capacity. He has in full. and there's no frustration because his beauty is defectless. It has no defects, and it can completely fill. I mean, completely charm the person. Just like we hear the example of Dhanurdas when he was attracted to one lady, and he was keeping the umbrella and fanning her and looking at her beautiful eyes, and then the whole Lord procession was going. Then Ramanacharya was thinking, this fellow is not even paying attention only. Then he called. He was not ready to come. He's completely absorbed there, samadhi. Then Ramanacharya says, okay, bring this person. Then he, hey, come, Ramanacharya is calling. Then he comes to say, oh, Ramanacharya is calling. What happened? Why don't you come for a procession? Said, no, but that lady is so beautiful. Her eyes are so beautiful. Then I said, no, but if I show you the more beautiful eyes than her also, then I said, I will become his servant. I will serve that person lifelong. Okay, then come to the Sanctum Sanctorium today evening. I will show you. Or next day morning, whatever. Then Ramacharya calls and prays to the Lord. And then Lord, he takes the darshan of the Lord and he becomes so charmed by the beauty, then he forgets. Everything he forgets. Then he becomes so charmed and affected. And that's how he got rid of this material reflection. So Krishna is so beautiful. The Lord is so all beauty. He's the source of all beauty, the real beauty, like that. So you can see when you connect spiritually, when you connect to Krishna, when you connect to divine, then what happens is physically whatever the beauty, the wealth, the property, whatever. So that is the highest. And like, when you become a devotee of the Lord, then Sabhumi Gopal, then everything it becomes the property of your father. Then you are not like Narad Muni can go anywhere. Everything wealth, Lakshmi Sahata Santa Sambrama Seviman. The devotee doesn't like anything. Everything belongs to Krishna, and he is Krishna's. So like that. So that way, whatever he is looking physically for, it is everything there in Krishna. In fact, why we are looking for all that? Because we are actually already looking for Krishna. That's why we are try to look in this world. So only tiny reflection of that. So Krishna has everything in full. Yeah, and that can actually attract our heart and charm our heart and enliven our fully like that. And emotionally, Krishna is most caring also, most affectionate, most understanding. Otherwise, why Krishna is telling Tesham Ham Samuddarta Mrittu Samsara Sagarat? He's so caring. No, he's telling, I will deliver you from all sin protection. And he's saying, Ananya Chintayanto Mam Yajano Paripasate. No, Tesham Yukta Yuktanam Yogakshama Vyaham. Whatever you lack, I will provide you. So he's very much caring and affectionate, like that you can see. Lord is very caring and affectionate, like that. And Lord is very understanding also. Like he says, no, Chipram Bhavati Dharmatma, no, Samyak Vyavasito he says. So Sarpamasya Dharmasya Tato Mahato Bhayat. So he says all these verses telling that how I understand your struggles. Even if you're little, also you will be saved from all the dangers, and and also even if there is some kind of slips here and there, but if you continue devotional service, I consider you sadhu only. So he's very understanding also. Lord is very understanding. He is not neglecting, or he is not like misunderstanding. He is always having any little devotional service you perform, you have some intention to please him, the Lord immediately takes the benefit. No, I mean, he immediately is paying attention to the jiva to bring him back. So very understanding, very caring, very affectionate. No, Lord is that is the nature of the Lord, and he provides so much facilities for devotional service like that. So he understands all our minutest struggles. He very clearly understands, very clearly knows. And that's how he is very much, Lord is very sympathetic and very affectionate and merciful towards us. And that's how he provides so many help in the form of classes, in the form of devotees, in the form of some wisdom, maybe from within also sometimes comes. So many ways, Lord provides the emotional support also to a devotee. He'll provide encouragement to devotees. Lord will provide encouragement to devotees. Lord will shower affection through his devotees. So devotees also you get that affection, care, and understanding. Devotee you may find like that. So that is how we get spiritual support. I mean the emotional support. And then intellectual also. Just like I told the the Alfred Ford example that Srila Prabhupada. So Lord and devotees, both it is true. For pure devotees and the Lord, both it is true. So you get intellectual. And same way Bhagavad Gita, when you read, then you question your intelligence. Your intelligence was saying, if I run for sense gratification, I'll become happy. But Gita says, no, that becomes the cause of misery. And it says, okay, if I try to satisfy my desires, if I try to satisfy my lust, then I'll become happy. I said, no, it will actually grow more like a fire. More you try to satisfy your lust, the more it will grow like a fire, he says. Dushparena analena, it says. So more you try to satisfy the lust, उतना और आग में घी डालने के समय. So it will question your intelligence. If you read Shastras, our intelligence will be questioned. So that's how. So when you connect to spiritual, when you connect to the Lord, when you connect to the scriptures, and our questions will be intelligent. I mean, our intelligence will be questioned. And also, we get the very vital questions about life, and we can make best decisions because the Shastras carry so much of wisdom. God can give us so much of wisdom. Like Arjuna could make good decisions. But Arjuna's intelligence was questioned. Arjuna was so much giving intelligent arguments, but then Lord defeated all. Lord actually told you are talking like a learned man, but actually you are being a fool. And then you are mourning for something which is not worth of mourning. So that is you are you are actually in bodily consumption. The Lord ridicules Arjuna. Then egoistic. That is the greatest pride that I am servant of Krishna. Krishna is the highest position he has of Supreme Lord, and we are servant of him. And we are loving, not only servant, we are loving, beloved child, beloved sacred child of him. Imagine you become the son of Bill Gates. So, like, and not only son, Krishna becomes the servant of his devotees. Can you imagine? So, what is the position? Let's say Bill Gates is your Naukar, let's say. So, this is like how Lord became the servant of Bali Maharaj. He became the Dwarapal. And he became the servant of Sudama. So, this is how egoistically also we get the greatest sense of worth we get when we connect to the Lord. So, what we understood from this exercise is that physically, emotionally, intellectually, egoistically, whatever we are trying to connect in this world, actually, if we connect to the Lord, all of things get fully satisfied eternally in a realistic way without any frustration, with full happiness and bliss. Correct? How many of you agree with this? To all this level. So basically, what we are seeking pleasure through all this thing is actually what we get the real satisfaction through when you connect to Krishna. So our search for pleasure through physical, emotional, intellectual, egoistic connection with things of this world will never help us. No? In fact, Gita says, Adi antavanta no kaunteya tateshu ramte bhuta, it says. That means what? It is a very cause of misery. What you are thinking is the cause of happiness. It's actually it is the very cause of miseries. No? Nateshu ramate budha. It says. Nateshu ramate budha. Means what? I'll just put the verse. Okay. So, yeah. You can see this verse. No? जैसे यही संस्प्रजाप होगा दुख योनि एवते आदि अंत कहते हैं अतेषु रमते बुध. Says an intelligent person does not take part in the causes of misery which are due to contact with material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them. So you can see that you contact with material senses. No? So sources of misery. Sources of misery means all these different kinds of people and things of this world. Basically, sense objects, so many varieties of that. So when you connect to them, trying to derive pleasure out of them. So what is telling is actually such pleasure what you're trying to derive, it has a beginning and end, and the wise man will not delight in them because that is the cause of misery. Actually, the cause of misery. So see what is written here. Those who are true yogis or learned transcendents are not attracted by such pleasures, which are the causes of continuous material existence. The more one is addicted to material pleasures, the more is entrapped by material miseries. The more you're trying to connect to people on those physical, emotional, egoistic, and platform, physical, emotional, intellectual, and egoistic platform through things of this world to get some pleasure of it, out of it. The more you're addicted to that, the more you're entrapped by material miseries, actually, like that. And that's a very enemy of the soul. So that's why it is called false pleasure also. That's why it's called false pleasure also. Yeah. So anyway, so let us go further. Yeah. So when you connect to all these things, then it becomes actually cause of misery on material platform, because we know that temporary illusory less capacity, and then also frustrating, it is miserable that way. So when you connect to the Lord through all this, then you actually find true happiness, is what he's telling. Yes. So yeah. So now somebody may say that how, okay, then you are denying the pleasures. No, we are not denying the pleasure, as you read the thought also. We are saying you direct them, you redirect them to the divine. So instead of trying to deny the pleasure, search for pleasure, the word is opulence of God is more attracting on his nature. I mean, people of India did not know his opulence, but he said, yes, correct, Prabhu. What you're saying is correct. So the opulence also is actually the devotee is in love with the Lord, so he doesn't care about the opulence, as you said rightly. But his opulence is also for the sake of pleasing the devotees. I'll tell you a simple example. Like like say suppose uh, say somebody is a married man. Now he wants to please his wife and children. Now they don't want his wealth, and he doesn't want his any of this. But he will still want to give him the best of the facilities. Correct? He will do that, and he will address him very nicely. Even the wife will also dress very nicely. She will put all the ornaments and so that she looks beautiful to please the husband. Yes or no? So now that is not that the husband is only wanting the wife to to look beautiful, and that way only. No, that is the expression of the wife for the husband, so that he's he's very comforted and happy and all that. Same with the husband is wanting to comfort the children and wife and all that. But actually, even if there is no resources and no facilities, also they will be happy, because what pleases them is the intention of love. You're getting this point? So gopis, they also become very beautiful. They are very beautiful in spiritual world, but they're beautiful not because that that beauty attracts the Lord. What attracts them is the love of the gopis. But they become beautiful because that pleases. They want to please the Lord the best. You understand, no? Like that it is. So what is more? So that out of love they become very beautiful. That's how it is. So this is like servants of no. They're like assistants to love. So the opulence is like the opulence which is there. The Lord may be having different opulences which he may want to give devotee, or he may want to serve the devotee with that. It charms the heart of the devotee. Like that. You getting this point, bro?
Yes, bro.
Yeah. So yes. So what I'm saying is the Lord satisfies. So what why person is looking? So Krishna, we are connected with Krishna out of love only, bro. But Krishna has those opulences, so we naturally are attracted to Krishna. Along with whatever opulences also he may have. So why we are looking for opulences of this world? Because we falsely, actually we are looking for Krishna only. Because Krishna had all those opulences. And Krishna was reciprocating, giving his love, offering his love, and giving us sometimes this kind of experience of the opulences of his beauty, his strength and intelligence and all that thing. Also, we were charmed by that. So because we have got charmed by Krishna, the tendency to be charmed by Krishna is there. So now again, we in this world we are wanting to look for the charm, but without love, without Krishna. You understand? No? So only simple imitation is going on. You getting this point?
Yes, bro.
Yeah, but originally what we are looking for is love only. That's why Krishna's nature is superior. No? Krishna's nature of love, loving nature and compassionate nature. That is superior. That is for true. One good question, bro. Nice question you asked. Yeah. So now this is this thing we saw. And same way, intellectually, I told all these things. So Krishna gives the full support, no, egoistically. Yeah. So what we are telling is that, so we are not trying to deny the pleasure, but we are trying to redirect them for to divine. That's how we can find true happiness, true fulfillment, true joy. No, because what we get is the most essential ingredient is love, and our heart feels it doesn't. But other all this physical, emotional, intellectual, and egoistic connection doesn't give love. That there's no love which the soul is looking for. But connecting to divine, what commodity we get is love, right? and all other things are also supplied. Just see, you understand now? But that is not the primary thing. That is the expression of love for the devotee. That's how he gets the experience of his all beauty. Because ultimately, in all, this thing has significance only in trying to serve the purpose of loving exchanges. All these are commodities, different opulences and emotional care and egoistic, whatever sense of worth and all. This ultimately is of love. The love is the main commodity. All these are assisting that. You know, like a devotee feeling sense of shelter, sense of security, sense of worth, because he is being loved by Krishna. The feeling is there, correct? And he goes, egoistically, I'm Krishna's servant. He's feeling so pride about it, get pride about it. And Krishna, helps him in all walks of life, in all decisions of life. So he's that way he experiences the love of Krishna. And that's how, so the Krishna, so that's why he's able to make the wise decisions in all walks of life also. Krishna gives him that. Dami buddhi yogam tam, he says. He gives all this so that he ultimately, he's loving exchanges with the Lord, that the devotee gets eventually. Because the decision making should be in such a way that it ultimately helps us to, able to have our loving exchanges with the Lord. That's the point. You're getting, so all these things find fulfillment when we connect with the Lord. What happens? So now another interesting thing, now somebody may say, okay, oh, that is fine. But then how to have progression? How to have progression from the platform of mundane pleasure to divine platform. How to do that? Because right now we are addicted to mundane pleasure. Somebody must say this question. Correct? This question can be obvious. How to have the progression from how can we come from mundane pleasure to divine? Somebody may ask this question. So now to understand this, let us do one thing. So now, suppose this is our material world, and so this is actually nothing but, you can say, our mm, material realm. You can say material world or material realm. MR with the material realm. You can say. And here, Hmm. Yeah. So you can see, initially what happens is, initially our material realm, is this big, and we have very less experience. So this is, you can say, experience. This is what is experience. Oh, sorry. This is experience. So this is experience curve. I'll write E. E for experience. Okay? E. And this is spiritual realm. Spiritual realm. And this is material realm. This is material realm. And this is spiritual realm here. See. So what happens is, as you practice Krishna consciousness, so what happens, your spiritual experiences increases, your relation increases, and everything increases. And what happens is, gradually your material realm, your wanting to seek pleasure from the material realm, material world, will decrease. Because right now you have only experience of material life. No? We don't have any much spiritual experience. So automatically to withdraw is very difficult. Same example, just like somebody is not having the proper food to eat. Then you snatch away his all the dry bread, and very uh, third quality food. So he will not be able to get rid of it because he's hungry. But he doesn't get anything from his higher, because it's the same way when our materialistic pursuits for pleasure, we cannot stop because we lack spiritual experiences. Our spiritual relation is less and everything. But if you diligently practice Krishna consciousness, then what happens is our experience increases. You see. Hmm. Spiritual experience increases. So our spiritual realm that becomes more prominent part of our life. That means the happiness, the realizations, the spiritual reality, I mean the spiritual realm becomes more real for us. We start living in a spiritual realm more and more. You know. So we start identifying that with that more. We start living, in that realm more and more. Like in serving Krishna, in pleasing Krishna, in serving devotees, in the mission of Srila Prabhupada. So we get that kind of reciprocation, that experience. And then what happens is, then what we try to derive pleasure from this material realm is very less. We don't like much of that. That's why a devotee may even not much worry about his comforts of body so much, what kind of quality of food he's having. He may not, of course, it doesn't mean that devotee will not get. Devotee may get best of the things. But he's not deriving support or shelter in all those material objects and people of this world on material platform. He doesn't do that, because his spiritual experience has increased like that. So much so that even death is insignificant for him. He doesn't have any issue with death also, because he understands, because he's living in a spiritual reality. He knows that I'm not the body, I'm soul, I'm having eternal relationship with Krishna, and he gets that kind of happiness. So he doesn't have any issue. Hmm. So this is how he starts living in spiritual reality. So this kind of progression should happen, and that happens by continuous practice of devotional service. When you do that, and we keep doing that, so the spiritual portion of our mind will increase. We are so spiritually we become more enriched. Then automatically the material component, the material pursuits, seeking pleasure on material platform, material connection, physically, emotionally, intellectually, egoistically will reduce, because we are getting satisfaction. So you cannot stop your hunger. Hunger must be there. But how you want to satisfy your hunger, that is up to you. So if you get settled, so the problem is with the sense object is what? So I'll just give this concluding slide, because the new batch also has joined. So uh, so what is the problem with sense gratification? Somebody can ask, what is the problem with sense gratification? Sense enjoyment, or you can say material enjoyment. What's the problem with that? The only problem is that when you settle to this sense enjoyment or material enjoyment, then yeah. So when you settle with some kind of material enjoyment, then what happens is, then you, like say you are walking on this, and you have to reach here. So you have to reach here. Here you have to reach. But what happens is, when in between some kind of uh, obstacle comes, let's say here, some kind of sun gratification pursuits are coming, let's say. So then what happens when you are trying to walk, so now you are not able to move forward, you see. Then you get settled here only. That's a problem. So it becomes so sun gratification becomes like an obstacle for us, like that. So there is a problem with sense gratification, because it actually kind of becomes an obstacle for going for higher, that spiritual pleasure. So it becomes an obstruction. But somebody may say, so am I supposed to give all value sense gratification? Help with sense gratification, that means I have zero sense gratification? No. So what is told is, so very important, that there are three levels. There are three levels. So one level is what? So let three levels are there. Level 1, level 2, level 3. So on level 1, so this is simply sinful life, you can say. That means without any boundaries. You can say without boundaries. And then this is with boundaries. With boundaries. And this is with bond. You can say bond of love. Yeah, bond of love. With boundaries, यहाँ पर, and but you are cultivating the bond of love. Focusing on bond of love. I'll explain it. Yeah, correct. So now what happens is, so without boundaries means a sinful life. This sinful life actually. So this should be given up. This cannot be accepted. Now we are all here. We are at this platform. We are actually at this platform. So what we have to do is, we are allowed to have some, we can deal with sense objects, we can deal with people, which may have certain kind of, we may get some kind of, material pleasures, but that should be sanctified. I mean, the sanctioned, sanctified, and regulated. That's the formula. So 3S. What are 3S? Sanction, sanctified, and regulated. Not SSR, you can say. Regulated. That means, like we take prasadam. We are not saying no food, no taste. No, we can take sanction, that is vegetables. No, we are not taking meat or anything like that, which is not sanctioned. Sanctified. And then it is sanctioned and is regulated also, correct? Like that. So that's called boundaries, with boundaries. That's why we have no illicit sex, no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, and also regulated and also offered to Krishna. Like that. Like kama viruddho bhutosmi. Kamosmi bhartarshabhai says. Krishna says that I am that kama, which is not against the principles of religion. That means one can have even sex life to create nice Krishna conscious children. That's not objected in the Shastras. That way, he will not, his bhakti will not be obstructed if he's doing it as per the religious principle. But what is told is no illicit sex life. That is condemned. And it should be offered to Krishna in the sense that it should be under the blessings of Guru and Krishna. One can have Krishna conscious children. So that is all right. That is not a problem. So same with Prasadam, I told. Same with the devotee may also go to different holy places. That way he gets some nice experience of nature and beauty, nature of the natural places, beautiful holy places, and all that. So it's fine. So we're not denying that we are completely saying zero. No, but you're saying have sanctioned, sanctified, and regulated that way. And the focus is not to just derive that pleasure. Oh, nice prasadam, bahut khane ko milta hai. Very good. No, I am eating nice food. So that's not the goal. The goal is to attain Krishna, to cultivate our love for Krishna. With that intent, that's why I said focusing on cultivation, bond of love. Cultivating of bond of love. That is the most important focus. Focusing on cultivation of bond of love. So with that is that is the focus, then eventually what happens is eventually your need for all this material component will decrease. Then one comes to a platform where he's completely having pure bond of love. Then also he may be eating, he may be having prashadam, he may also be going to holy person, but his significant drive is not also any kind of some pleasure what he gets out of there. But his significant drive is the most significant drive is his all significant drive is everything is what? Because he is love for Krishna. But he may not have even prasadam sometimes, but doesn't mind. Or he gets a very simple prasadam, he doesn't mind. He'll continue serve Krishna. He gets a healthy body. He doesn't get a healthy body. No problem. I'll serve Krishna. Whatever state. Like Japataka Maharaj, he doesn't have healthy body. But still is going on. You understand this point? So there is no, so his devotion doesn't depend upon any kind of material sense, pleasure what one may get even otherwise when he is practicing in boundaries. You getting this point? No? Yeah. So it doesn't affect him that way because his bond of love is increased. So one has to go from this platform to this platform. There's a point. So this is not accepted, but one has to come here and then he has to come to this platform. There's a point. Like that he has to practice. So we are all sadhakas, we are here where we have to go here. So the whole thing is that we diligently practice keeping the boundaries and focus. The boundaries we know, broadly it is no illicit, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex. And then bond of love, that means focusing on developing our attraction and love for Krishna. Then gradually we'll come to this platform with bond of love. So now the sense objects which come on the way, which we are talking about, the sense object which come on the way. So, so how to deal with that? So the thing is, they are not the problem in one sense. I mean, in one sense, they are not the main problem. Encountering with them is not the problem. What is the problem is when you connect them without boundaries. When you connect them without boundaries, that is the problem. That is wrong. But when you connect to them, with this program, then it's all right. Then it's all right. But we don't look for this. No, the goal is to focus on cultivation of bond. So we can say that it is not the problem. Problem is not to encounter sense object, but problem is to see them as source of pleasure. When we see them as our sole source of, there is other source of pleasure. I'll get pleasure out of it. No, we should see them as okay by having the sanctioned, regulated, and sanctified program. I want to develop my attraction for Krishna. That is the focus. So I don't want to derive pleasure out of them. That's not my purpose. My purpose is that I want to deal with them in such a way that eventually my love for Krishna increases. Like that it is. So the problem is not to encounter the sense, but rather to see them as a source of pleasure. So when we see them as a source of pleasure, so we know that it is not the source of my pleasure, but we are dealing with them, which may give us some kind of material pleasure. But we should know that if I seek pleasure, so we should seek pleasure in serving Krishna, seek pleasure in pleasing the Lord. That should be our nourishment we should understand. But nevertheless, we may get some kind of material pleasure also, but we should not be attached to it. We should be wanting to know that what is the essence of this whole thing is because it is Krishna's prasad. That is the essence. Okay, I'm getting happiness, my tongue is satisfied now. Okay, but essence is you got Krishna prasad. So one should not interact with the sense object with the understanding that this is a source of my pleasure. My source of pleasure is because Krishna is satisfied. That understanding has to be kept very clearly in the mind. You understand? No? So sense of pleasure, the desire for material enjoyment, when with that we connect to sense object, that's a problem. So we should see them, we should deal with them with the desire to progress in Krishna. That means sometimes some content has to be completely given up. Like say meat, illicit sex life completely given up. And something can be doubted. That means, okay, one may accept certain people, things of this world, in deal in such a way that it's actually he progresses. Like he can use the vegetables and all to cook food and offer to Krishna, and then by that he can make a spiritual advancement. He can take money, you can utilize the money for putting up a big Rath Yatra, calling so many people, and then feed them prasadam and do nice service to Krishna. You got this point? This way you can progress, in your Krishna consciousness also. So like that. So that's how we have to deal. So certain things we have to give up, and certain things we can dovetail, and engage also. But we should not see the sense object as the source of pleasure. That is for sure. When you see the sense object with the spirit of enjoyment, that's a problem. So that's why even for prasadam also, we should not go with the spirit of enjoying prasadam. At least we have to we may get in, but keep in mind that it's Krishna's prasadam. So let me take it. It will purify. That it's okay. We are getting some happiness. We are getting some kind of protect because we are not that platform. So, but we have to know that. But tomorrow, let's say some other same item which is not offered to Krishna, will we still go for it? No, we will not go for it because we are not motivated by thinking that is source of pleasure. No, that is not my source of pleasure. My source of pleasure is because when I take shelter of Krishna, so that prasadam, or when I take that mercy, because prasadam is mercy of the Lord, then it will help fulfill my became. So I will not take other item, same item which is not offered. So that means I don't see that item as a source of pleasure, but I see that my source of pleasure is, my source of happiness would be when I take shelter in Krishna. That's why sanctified. Is this point clear, Prabhu? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. So if I have to summarize what I told, if you can, I don't know, note down or something. In summary, I can, if I have to speak, then I can say, okay, let me. Save it. I mean, you're able to get it, what I'm speaking? You have to unmute. You have to unmute yourself. You have to unmute. Yeah, not can't hear you. You have to unmute yourself.
Yes, Prabhu.
I'm still a little confused. I got here after you started talking, so I'm not clear on some of the terminology you're using.
No problem. This is anyway. I mean, this was for the previous batch, but it's fine. So what in essence I discussed, I'm just summarizing it here. So first we discussed about connection, if you remember. I talked about connection, and I said connection means you connect, and then there is emotion, and then there is action, right? And I said that you get this connection through so many objects and things of this world, and then you get into action because there are some sinful desires that in the seed form. That's how the emotion comes. Lust, greed, so many things will come, and that's a problem. So now one more thing I wanted to tell here is that emotion thing you can improve on. How you can improve on this emotion thing? You can improve on this. How? By performing pure devotion service. Then what happens? Your sinful bijas, the seeds of wrong emotions will go away. Seeds of material enjoyment will go away.
You said bijas are the seeds?
Yeah, desire. Yeah, seeds.
Okay,
correct.
bijas.
Seeds.
Okay.
Yeah. So the seeds of material enjoyment will be burnt by practice of devotional service, you see. And then what happens is the seed of pure devotional service we get by hearing from Guru, by practicing devotion, by hearing Bhagavatam, by hearing Krishna. So the seed of pure service attitude will be sown in us, like that. That's how we have. So when you when you come across the things of this world, then what happens? Then you will think about engaging them in service of Krishna. Like when Prabhupada saw the truck, nice truck. Now he was seeing, very nice truck. In the USA, United States, very beautiful truck he saw. Then all the disciples say, oh, Prabhupada is so impressed by our advancement in technology. Very nice. Then Prabhupada said, it can be used for Rath Yatra. I said, oh my Lord, we were thinking a different way. We Prabhupada is very charmed by our, impressed. But no, Prabhupada was not about getting impressed by some kind of nice material facilities or something. Prabhupada was thinking that how can I use this in service of Krishna? Same way Prabhupada saw many beautiful women of America, young beautiful men and women. Prabhupada did not see them as, okay, there are nice people, who are very good looking and all. No, Prabhupada saw them how? So then, oh, they have nice talents to serve Krishna. Somebody was good in painting, somebody was good at making nice sculpturing thing. somebody was good in cooking. So Prabhupada engaged every one of them. Somebody was good in music in service of Krishna, you see. So then, so
Prabhupada? You said Prabhupada?
Prabhupada,
Prabhupada?
Prabhupada is a great saint. Yeah.
Can you
Who,
spell it?
Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada. Yeah. So
Okay.
this is how we find that all of I mean so what happens is our emotion, I mean the seed of Krishna conscious emotions will be sown. Then what happens
Okay.
is, yeah, and we cultivate that. When you cultivate that, by cultivating that, by doing regular Shavanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam, you perform devotional service in so many varieties of ways. Then that gets nurtured, and then the sinful seeds will get dissolved, and the seeds of service attitude, but the devotional service, that will be sown, and that's how one will make progress. Like that. That's first thing I will discuss. And we also said
Okay.
that on physical, mental, spiritual, physical, emotional, intellectual, egoistic, and spiritual platform, we have different ways connection with so many things of this world, because we look for some kind of property, some kind of caring person, some kind of people who can address our questions, give us good wisdom for make decisions, or feel some sense of worth. So all these things we look for, but the point is that temporary, flickering, illusory, that doesn't have, sometimes lack even capacity to satisfy us. All that we discuss, there's a problem there, and it doesn't make us happy also. It's very frustrating and miserable experience like that. And then we say, if we take shelter in divine, if we take shelter of Krishna, then what happens is, then actually you get all that fulfillment of heart, because you get love of Krishna, which was missing in previous communities. And Krishna is eternal, and he is not illusory, he is real, and he doesn't lack any kind of capacity. He is full capable personality to offer you all these opulences with love, like that. So there is no scarcity in Krishna, no scarcity in God. So when you connect to divine, then your heart gets fulfilled in all aspects, you see. So all physical, emotional, egoistic, like that. Krishna can give us, can charm our heart with his beauty, with his wonderful intelligence. Krishna can, he's so caring, he's so affectionate, he's so understanding. Krishna can also give us the best of the wisdom to make good decisions in life. Krishna can give us the most feeling of sense of worth and shelter in him, and he can fill our heart, with full security and everything. Correct. So and most important, the because of the love aspect, everything is there like that. So this is how when you connect to divine, then you get full satisfaction. Then we discuss, but uh, so we think that, so we concluded that instead of being focused on denying the objects of pleasure, I mean, instead of trying to deny the pleasure, what we should do, we have to redirect our, we have to redirect them, to divine. Instead of denying
Okay.
the search for, instead of denying the search for pleasure, we have to redirect them to divine. So when you redirect them to divine, then actually you become happy. So we have to come out of, we have to actually not seek pleasure in things and people of this world, through them.
Okay. Thank you. That clears things up for me.
Yeah, but we have to connect to divine to actually find the true happiness, like that. Now, but we discussed that. Okay, but I am not on that platform where I can just connect to divine and get all my happiness. I still have the struggle, and I am still connecting to things and people of this world, and I still feel like getting pleasure from them, from there. So how to do that? Then I told you there's a progression. I told you the progression thing. You remember?
Yeah.
I told that how wait a minute. Okay. So I was telling that how when you have material experience and spiritual experience, you remember?
What was the triangle in the middle of that sloping line? I'm not sure what the triangle was.
Yeah, triangle was the way I was showing the obstacle, basically obstacle.
Obstacles.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So wait a minute. So where's the forward one? Yeah, this one. Are you able to see?
No, it's just a blank black page. I can see the cursor moving around, but I don't see a picture.
I'm not able to find the page with it. Anyway, just give me a minute. We'll just take a 1 minute break. I'll just come. 1 minute. Anyway, I'm not able to show you the page, but basically it was that's slope, which has a material circle and one is spiritual circle, and then there's so I was saying that when our experience, the spiritual experience increases, then our material realm, things and people of this material realm, seeking pleasure from them automatically reduces. The material entity reduces because, and our spiritual entity increases, and we start living more in spiritual reality. Spiritual realm increases for us. Then what happens is we derive pleasure, real happiness, then heart is filled so much with happiness and love and fulfillment. Real fulfillment is there. So automatically we can come out from there. That's what we are saying there. So we have to come, we have to actually increase our spiritual experiences by chanting, by devotional service. As spiritual experiences increases, then we can actually come out of that seeking pleasure from material things and people of this world. Then lastly, we discussed that, but right now, how to do that? Because right now I'm stuck. So I told 3 levels are there. Simple life, no boundaries. That we discussed, no? Yeah, this
I'm
one.
with you now.
This one. Sinful life, no boundaries. There is sinful life. Then with
Oh.
boundaries, yeah, focusing on cultivation bond of love. And then what is that? So we should have, so if any, so we deal how with the sense pleasure, sanctioned, sanctified, and regulated. Right. And the focus is not to derive pleasure. We don't see that as a source of pleasure. We see them as, okay, I'm not on that level. Okay, fine. But my focus is that I want to please Krishna. This is sanctified and regulated and sanctioned. I want to please Krishna. The focus is to cultivate my bond of love. And eventually that component to derive pleasure from the material aspect will decrease and will only be, just fixed on the platform of loving, bond of love. So even pure devotees may also have, nice prasadam or he may have facilities, but they're not deriving any kind of pleasure from there. They're not seeking pleasure from there. They have given up that pursuit at all. They're only fixed on in their love for Krishna. And that's how they're fully satisfied. So when that is taken away also, they have no issue. I said that how even if prasadam has no salt also, they are okay. Or if they don't get very good facility, they are simply living in hut also, they're fine. So they have no material, factors to, have any kind of obstacle in their love for Krishna, because that is what they're seeking happiness from. They're fully satisfied on that platform. So their happiness doesn't get disturbed by that. So this is how we can eventually, so we had sadhaka, we have to grow from. So from here, with boundaries, we practice Krishna consciousness, with focusing on developing our love for Krishna, then eventually we come to this platform. So this is how we summarize the whole thing. Is this clear, Prabhus? So we said that the problem is not to encounter sense object, but to see them as source of pleasure. And how to deal with sense objects also I told you. I told something we have to delete from our life, which is not good for us. We have to keep distance. And something is the point is that just like I said, meat eating and all, we cannot even eat it. We cannot do that. We cannot see the essence of it. And we can have to keep distance. And some things we have to engage them in Krishna service. And sanctioned, sanctified, and regulated the form like that. And but the point is we should not encounter them with the desire to enjoy pleasure out of that. But with the desire to actually, progress. I mean, we have to deal in such a way that we progress in Krishna consciousness, like that it is. And there may be some kind of pleasure coming that may be there because of a lower platform. But the point is that this is not adharmic. It is as per the dharma. So he will actually even may progress, and when we come to the platform of only focused upon bond of love. That's how it is. So problem is not to encounter such. Problem is to see them as source of pleasure. So devotee should not try to see, should try to withdraw himself, seeing them as a source of pleasure. I give the example of prasadam, same item, no prasadam. So we may get pleasure, but we are not seeking the pleasure there in the prasadam. That should not be our primary focus. Primary focus should be it is prasadam, it will purify. That should be our orientation. And we may get pleasure. We are okay. We are not saying that, because we are not on the platform. We may get happiness, so we are happy. No problem with that, because ultimately our focus is that I'm developing attraction for Krishna, love for Krishna, it's purifying, fine. The same item which is not offered, we will not be touching also. That means our primary focus was to cultivate love. So that focus has to be there. Okay, so we'll stop here. Is that clear to all of you?
Yes, that is clear.
Others, can you understand what I spoke? Oh, Pranav Prabhu is not there. Huh? Okay. Yes, Prabhu, all of you are able to, you could understand? Yeah? Okay. Fine. So we'll stop here. So we have another session. So we need to stop. So who is this 178? Once if somebody is joined from phone. Are you Shivasan Prabhu? You have joined from phone?
I think it's Connell.
Okay, it's Cornell. Okay, fine. Fine issue. So okay, so the previous batch session you can leave, then I'm starting another session. Yeah. So yeah. So today we are going to discuss, I think, on karma. I forgot, not on the spiritual material, but that is not covered, I think, for you. Karma is not covered, correct? No? Ami and Cornell? The karma part is not covered, right? The laws of karma, how our actions, we are responsible for them. And Hare Krishna, Suresh, can you come here? Can you get my bag also? Bag is there down. In your room, Yes, but you had Prasada? No, that's why. Can you come? Okay. So, yeah. So I'm just going to share the screen with you. Just give me a minute. So this is session 3, because we have done the session of creation. The creator, right? If you remember, how there must be a supreme creator behind this universal creation. We discussed that. So today we are going to discuss law of karma and work to gain freedom. That is transmigration, basically. That we are going to discuss that. I need to yeah. दो रोटी सब्जी and छोटा वाला डिब्बा मिलेट खिचड़ी दो रोटी सब्जी और क्या खिचड़ी है क्या खिचड़ी है मिलेट उपमा हाँ तो उपमा भी सांभर भी है क्या रसम होगा रसम चटनी है रसम थोड़ा चटनी है चटनी थोड़ा ग्लास में लेके दो ग्लास में okay. So yeah, so this is a very important session because it gives us the clarity about like, as you remember, we discussed that this life is not all in all. The next life also exists. So many times people have this idea that okay, this life is not the only life, and they have no understanding that how they are eternal, and they had many lives before, and they will be having different lives in future. So this gives a very logical and sound reasoning, scientific explanation about reincarnation, and also how different actions leads to different kind of destinations. So after knowing this session, we can be very responsible in our lives because we know how the laws of nature are so stringent and what leads to what. So this all is very important session. So we are beginning with this. So I'm going to share the screen. Let me do that. Mm. Can you see the screen now?
I can see you.
Huh?
Oops. I can see you.
Not the screen?
Whoop. No.
Now also?
Okay, yeah, I see it. Gita in a nutshell. How to catch fish without getting wet. Okay.
Yeah. Can you see now the full screen?
Yes.
Yeah. So where can you find true happiness? This is our session today. Yeah. Search for happiness. So we try to search for happiness, physical, mental, intellectual, spiritual, different platforms. We can see how people are wanting to have happiness on physical platform, trying to eat so many varieties of dishes and all, right? And then you can see music, arts, poetry, sports. So all these sports, intoxication, parties, crazy fashion. You can see how people are trying to find happiness. Same way, intellectually also people try to find happiness, like the debates, and brainy games, all that. Western countries have reached the summit of material advancement. You can see the planes and communication systems, but all that still people are not happy. They have all that, but they're still not happy. So this is the plight of the modern system. You can see modern, civilization. They have made so much of advancement, material advancement, but they haven't got the happiness. They haven't got the satisfaction of the heart. You can see how people have such kind of terrible miseries and distress and frustration, agony, troubles in their lives. The modern man has not become happy. So if human beings just eat, sleep, mate, and fight in a more sophisticated way, then how is a human being superior to animals? So animals have to do eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Then how the humans are superior to animals? Because human beings have opportunity to understand divine. They can connect to Krishna. They can become happy in trying to connecting with divine. This is how spiritual human form of life is special. It is special and more. It's a privilege to have human form of life in that sense, like that, because we can connect to divine and derive the real happiness that is possible. Yeah, they can see how the human beings can meditate. You can see this man is meditating, this woman is meditating, this person is reading Bhagavad Gita, person is doing mantra meditation, just praying. So this thing you can see only in human beings. So cats, dogs, you'll see that they are praying. That. So Annie has a cat, I think, but
Yeah.
she doesn't. But do you find your cat praying sometimes and doing meditation sometimes?
Um,
Does your cat do meditation? Does your cat read Bhagavad Gita?
no, no,
Does your cat does some meditation?
no.
Yeah. So it's not possible for the cats and dogs and all to do that. So only humans can do. But humans give up all this kind of pursue for higher realization, spiritual realizations. Then they simply are acting on the platform of animals. So that's why. So that's why materialistic civilization is simply sometimes animalistic civilization. Sometimes because it's living like an animal. We are not condemning animals, but we are saying the animals are not pursuing something higher. Same way we also don't pursue something higher, so we become simply animals. Yeah. अरे दाल तो होगा ना वो सब्जी तो होगा। So animals can inquire about eating, humans can inquire about life, death, and beyond. You can see this, right? So human beings have higher intelligence to find out the cause of sufferings, to inquire about the purpose of life, to harmonize our life with God and nature, and to attain eternal happiness. Yes. So please don't mind. I'll be taking my prasadam also, my food, but I'll continue the session. Please forgive me. Is that okay? Well, I haven't
Mhm.
taken anything in the morning. I had continuous classes, one after another. So that's why. Yeah. So you can see between B and D, there is C, birth and death. C is the choice.
Hmm.
When you got human form of life,
Hmm.
then you can be promoted to higher life if you inquire, if you make the choice. But if you don't have any inquiry and you want to do anything for your spiritual quest, then you are demoted to lower forms, like animals. So human beings can develop. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. Why it is like that? Yeah. Yeah. So human beings can develop the reasoning power to ask these following questions. Why am I suffering? Where do I go after this life? This only human beings can say. Animals cannot. Why am I suffering? What are the problems in life? This may be some problems. But I'll ask you one question. What is the real problem of life? Can any one of you tell me? What's the real problem? No job, no money, family problem, failed in exam, no girlfriend, no boyfriend. What is the real problem of life? Can you tell me? What is the real problem? No job. Tomorrow you can get job. And sometimes you have no job, you may be more happy also. Because your father is having a lot of money and you may be happy. With job, you have to work a lot. Father wants us to be responsible and so many things. Okay, no job, blissful. Can just relax at home. You have already saved enough money, so fine. So there are four real problems of life. Now, what is the real problem of life? Yeah, there are three things. It should be common to all, and everybody, nobody wants it, and nobody can avoid it. Three things. Think about it. The real problem of life is it's common to all, nobody wants it, and nobody can avoid it. So, can you think now what are the real problems of life? Yes. What about you, Nancy? What's the real problem of life? Connell, you want to say what's the real problem of life? You're able to understand what I'm saying?
Is it knowing you're going to die?
Yeah, that is the one of the real problem. Death. Because it is common to all, right? There is nobody who can say that I will not die. And nobody can avoid it. Even if we pay $50 billion to somebody and say, can you just give me a letter by which I can escape death? No, sir. You cannot. Nobody can avoid. And nobody wants it. Otherwise, why people are, you know, trying to get so many varieties of things to postpone death. They go to yoga, they do so many things. People don't want to die. No? So nobody wants it, nobody can avoid it. It's common to all. Yeah. So there's no real problem what is written still here. Any other thing? Common problem? Real problem you can think of? Yes. What about old age? Old age, old age. So Amy and Nancy, you have been coming to old age, right? I hope you don't feel bad about it when I say old age, because it's a fact of life. Correct?
Mhm.
So I'm pretty sure both of you must be like going beyond 50. So after 45, 50, it's like, we can perceive that how body is not cooperating. The senses, the
Mhm.
way it would act before, the body, the way it would act before. It's not like that. Like another day, Amy was telling, before I'd feel my vacuum to be like a Ferrari. Now it's like what she said, I forgot, but she said something. Broken down Mercedes, something she said. It's like now. So the body is not the way it was before. Like in the childhood, the way we are jumping, doing, we felt like so elastic body. Nothing can happen. We can jump from tower and come, nothing will happen. We feel like that. But now even to climb the stair also, you have to be careful. When the old age comes. If suddenly you slip, then some dislocation will happen, this will happen, that will happen. So old age also is a problem. Nobody wants it, nobody can avoid it. And it's common to all. So death is covered, old age is covered. What else? Then disease. Disease is also common to all. Nobody can say I have never got disease. Nobody can avoid it, and nobody wants it also. And the last thing is, not last but least, but birth. Birth itself is a problem. Because how birth is a problem? Yeah, birth is a problem. How? Because when the child is in the womb of mother for 9 months, it's a very terrible experience for the child. It's not easy. Imagine somebody has put you in a room with clothes from all sides, completely dark. Not only that, it is filled with water. And not only that, so many germs and insects are biting you within inside. Or not, I have kept you for 1, 2 hours, not for 1 week, not for 1 month, 9 months. What a terrible plight of that person. And when the child comes out of the womb of the mother, that also very painful for the child. First thing to shifting from one atmosphere to another atmosphere. And the whole labor pain and the whole delivery is a very risky thing and very painful thing for both for the mother and the child both. Correct? Both of you must be mothers, right? And me and Nancy.
Sorry, what was the question?
Both of your mothers.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, even Nancy also. He has sons. She has
Yeah.
a third.
Yes.
So you must have experienced how it's painful for the mother and the son, for the child both, right? It's not easy.
Mhm.
So birth also is a problem, right? Now you can say, no, it's not a problem. No, I'm happy. No. But the point is that misery, the distress associated with birth, what we're talking about. No. So nobody wants it also. Why? Because nobody wants that kind of miserable experience. Hmm. Yeah. So the birth, old age, disease, and death. कुछ तो सब्जी दो थोड़ा सा. कुछ भी लिंगरिंग सब्जी होगा ना 5 किलो. हाँ वही दे दो ना, उसके लिए थोड़ा चटनी दे दो, चटनी भी दे दो। या इसी में दे दो। ठीक है, प्लेट में आ दो, प्लेट में लेके आओ चलिए। ये प्लेट में लेके आओ, नहीं नहीं इसको नहीं, प्लेट में लेके आओ। या so it is said, one who can perceive birth, death, old age, and disease as real problem is in knowledge. So perceive in the sense, sometimes people don't think about it. Like when Amy tries to go to give punishment to the cat, let's say she wants to beat. Then what cat does, Amy?
What?
When you go and try to scare the cat, go to beat the cat, then what the cat will do?
Run away. If
Yeah,
I scare
yeah,
him, he'll run away.
yeah. And sometimes she doesn't run away when she finds no escape now. You completely checkmated, cornered her, cornered the cat. Then what cat will do? It will close the eyes. You have seen? She will just close the eyes as if that no problem exists. It does sometimes. I have seen in my home. Sometimes when the cat would come in the kitchen, then we would want to get her out. Surely the cat was not the pet of ours. The cat was somehow was there in the room, home, in the whole entire building. So she would come try to take the milk. So my mother or father sometimes would bolt the door from all sides and try to beat the cat, give some punishment to the cat. When cat would find no rescue, then she would just close the eyes like this.
Mhm.
So as if like problem is solved. So same way we also close the eyes to death, old age, disease, and birth, and we think that and we just keep we don't want to remember all that, and we feel that I'm happy. It's like that. So different kicks of death and old age and disease we keep getting, birth and all that thing. So one person was studying our whole life is like a football game. How the football is experiences the same way our life is. How like you give a kick to the football, and football goes in the air, and apparently looks like football has a lot of football has a nice time in the air. Oh, he's nicely floating, and only to get kicked from another person from behind and down. As soon as the football comes down, tuck, another kick. Again, football goes up, and as it comes down, again another kick, tuck. So the whole life we keep getting kicks, of miseries like this. And in between there is some kind of gap, and we think that gap, oh, I'm safe and I'm happy. This is how it is. So actually, the whole life we keep getting these kicks. So the major kicks are the kicks of birth, old age, disease, and death, right? So who can perceive this as a real problem? That person is actually in knowledge. Such a person is in knowledge because he is able to understand. Oh, this is a real problem.
Sorry, so in the football analogy, are we supposed to be the football?
We
It
are not
gets
supposed to
kicked?
be football, but we are somehow in this world become like a football.
Okay.
Yeah, but football foolishly thinks that football doesn't think, but I'm just saying football may foolishly think that, oh, I'm having a nice ride in the air, but doesn't understand he was kicked before, he's going to going to get kicked later. But he thinks that, oh, it's fine. So some gaps. So same way in our life also we get some gaps sometimes, and that gap we feel very happy about. It is not happy. It is only that we are relieved from the kick for some time. Just like in ancient time, the king should give punishment to the criminal by submerging him in the water. His whole head will be submerged in the water, and he'll be suffocating, and then remove him for some time. Now I'm happy. I'm happy. And then he says, "Tell the truth." Because they wanted to get some secret out of him. And again he's submerged, and again he suffocates, and again he's taken out of the water. So when you're taken out of the water for some time, you feel relief, and then you think that to be happiness. So in this world, we foolishly think that I'm happy. Actually, we are relieved for some time, like from misery, which was like minus 1500. Now we have got minus 500 sometimes. Misery is reduced. When misery little bit reduces, we think I'm happy. This is what happens. This is what we think, like that. You got the point? Yeah. Can you read this?
Maybe I can move these people over here.
Yeah, read it. Please read. Amy, can you read?
Oh, you want me to read it out loud?
Yeah.
Okay. Upon witnessing death, poverty, and old age for the first time, Siddhartha was shocked that such suffering could exist in the world. This is the end, he exclaimed, which has been fixed for all, and yet the world forgets it, fears, and takes no heed. Turn back the chariot. This is no time or place for pleasure excursions. How could an intelligent person pay no heed at a time of disaster when he knows of his impending destruction?
Hmm. So this is the point. Old age, we all want to remain forever, young forever. But very soon we start growing old and our bodies become weak and frail. See. Disease. We have variety of diseases. You see? Heart attack. One gets heart attack and all those stuff. See, she's getting heart attack. And dying. So it is said that at the time of death, one gets the pain of 1,000 scorpion bites, 40,000 scorpion, 40,000, how many? Yeah, millions of scorpion bites at a time. At one time, millions of scorpions are biting. That much pain one gets. It's so painful. The death is so painful. Like, suppose somebody lost his home. It's very painful. Somebody lost his parents. It's very painful. But death is something you lose everything at once. So it is mentally and physically both very painful. And apart from that, there are three more miseries which constantly keeps coming in our lives. What are three types of miseries? Adhyatmika, Adidevika, Adibhautika. That means miseries from our own body and mind. Mind keeps traveling so many ways. That's called Adhyatmik Klesh. Then miseries from other divinities called Adi Bhautik Klesh. That means some kinds of snakes or insects or other neighbors sometimes troubling us. Some people abusing us, troubling us, terrorists, war situations, all Adi Bhautik Klesh, miseries. Then miseries come by natural disasters also. I mean, miseries from other divinities, you can also include this New York Tower, 2000, I don't know which time, 9 September, I think, 2011, not 11, 2001 maybe. World Trade Center. World Trade Center was devastated by Osama bin Laden. That was so much of misery you can see. And same way, so that is called Adi Bhautika, terrorist attack and all. Then miseries from natural disaster. Sometimes tsunami comes, some kind of cyclone or storm, and it devastates the life of the people and even their resources and property gets all disrupted, disrupted and destroyed. You can see that. So this is how the threefold miseries also keep coming in the life of people. So apart from four problems, there are threefold miseries also, as I said. So can you list some of the problem which your mind and body creates, and some other problems that living entities create, or some other natural disasters? Can you just write down some of them? Yes.
Injury,
Yeah, you can speak maybe. Nancy will tell. What is the problem with our own mind? What kind of problem comes? Huh?
Negative thinking.
Yeah, negative thoughts. Correct. What else?
depression,
Depression. Very big problem. Yes. What else?
Delusion.
What you said?
Delusion.
Delusion. Yes. Delusion also. Correct. You can see headache, stress, depression, body pain, suicidal thoughts. And is it due to other living entities? Insect bite, arguments, fights, bacterial, viral disease, animals attack, theft, robbery. Due to natural disasters, tsunami, earthquakes, floods, tornado, drought. So many varieties of problems here. See, so many suicides and teen suicides have tripled in last 25 years. That's it. So, yeah, academic pressure, lack of family support, stress, so many things. So it's called adhyatmic klesha, heart attack, suicides, stress, right? Yeah. In the US, 1 out of 2 cardiac arrests are on account of stress. Visit other living entities, you can see so many varieties of miseries come. But yeah, that adhyatmic klesha, you can see how different varieties of natural disasters also. Threefold miseries, no? As I said. So modern science and technology gives us temporary solution, you see. Latest technology all gives us temporary solution, doesn't give us the full stop. But death is still there, you see. So many people are dying now. I mean, everybody is dying. And sometimes people are dying quite early sometimes. Like heart attacks are coming in very young age, cancers are increasing. So you can see that it is not that people are, able to escape death with our science and technology. That science and technology cannot stop the solution. I mean, that problem, coronavirus and everything. Yeah. So solution of modern science is very temporary, stopgap solution. Like old age, white hair, you can use hair dye, but you cannot stop old age. Wrinkles come, you can use facelift. Disease come, back pain, stomach pain, you can use painkillers. But you cannot stop, your disease. Disease is going to come, newer and newer disease come. No matter how much you make medical advancement, scientific advancement. Breathlessness and death, use oxygen tube, but you cannot avoid death. That will anyway come in spite of all your oxygen tubes and this and that. So science and technology cannot stop old age, cannot eradicate disease, hardly has understanding of life and death. So where do I go after this life? Mysteries of transmigration. So where do I go after this life? He's asking. You're able to hear the sound also?
I don't hear the sound.
Store.
Okay, again you see. Now you can hear the sound?
I can hear it now.
So, what's through this door? Where do we go? Is it nothing?
You got this point? So is there nothing? No, there is something. So that's what we are going to discuss. Now, only thing is now time is up. So should we stop the session now and maybe take the next time? Because
Yeah,
now the
I
important
have-
question, what happens to us at the time of death? That we are going to see from next session, which is very, very important. So we have just given the background today. The very important part is going to come next session about the law of karma and transmigration of the soul. So we'll
All right,
stop here.
thank you.
But we can
Thank you
have,
very much.
but we can have some one question maybe in case you have one question. So did you like the session? You were happy with the session?
Yes.
What was the most striking point? Amy and Nancy can tell one point. Cornell also. Any reflection?
Sorry, I was late, so not really.
Amy, you'll have to have any reflection? Yes.
I'm looking forward to the transmigration part because that's what I'm worried about, actually.
Yeah.
I definitely fear death.
Correct. Okay. Good. So if you're able to come down to temple next Sunday, then next Saturday, then we can have live session also. All three of you can come.
Where is the temple?
Boston.
Oh, no, I can't come.
Oh, you
No,
cannot
sorry.
come.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm not going to be able to go to Boston.
No, sorry about that.
Maybe in future.
You're in Northampton, Nancy?
Yeah, but I'm not available on that day.
Oh, yeah,
When-
I just
when you-
can't travel that far because of my physical limitations.
No problem. What you can do, you can plan whenever Nancy is having time, then together both of you can come.
Yeah, maybe sometime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but not
Figure
this,
it out.
definitely not this coming Saturday.
Right.
Sure, no issues. No
I
issues.
agree with that. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. And what about your this thing? Some kind of problem was there, na? I mean, with you, that is sorted out now? It's cured or still problem?
I'm sorry, I didn't
Sorry?
understand the question.
No, you had some kind of problem in the body, right? I mean, some kind of disease.
Oh
something you
yeah,
said.
I have cervical myelopathy. So the my spinal cord in my neck is compressed. So it causes a lot of pain and it affects my ability to walk, and it's hard for me to travel. It's just really hard for me to travel.
So now it
2
is
hours
better, or
is
it
a
is
lot.
like it is
But
better.
I'm going to be getting actually a spinal stimulator, which is it gets implanted into my spine and it's wires that put electricity through. And I'm not sure when that's going to happen, but it's supposed to help me feel better. So at some point I will get better and be able to travel, but it's going to be a while.
But if Nancy brings you, then it's possible for you if you come in his car, in her car.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I can't drive right now, but if I were driven, that would make it easier. Yes.
Yeah, Nancy is a good friend. She will do that for you. Some point of the time. Someday when she's free.
Someday. Yes. One day.
Right.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All
And
right,
Cornell, you have
thank
some
you.
Cornell, you have some reflection to share? Cornell?
No,
Cornell,
I'm
do
all
you have
set.
Cornell?
Sorry. No,
Okay.
I actually have to run off, so.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
All right.
Thank
so
you.
much.
See you next week.
All right.
Yes.
Bye-bye.